Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Terry Morris, and I am excited to see everybody here to celebrate our annual Black History Month flag raising. Just want to say a few words, and then I'll hand it over to Sakari. So one thing I have to say is that I'm so proud to admit that I'm not here this year to say that we can, but we have, and we did. We've made so many accomplishments over the year. We have an elected member to the city council, the school committee. Restaurants have been opened. Books have been written about the history of the Lowellians, Black Lowellians in Lowell, and that is hidden in plain sight by the Free Soil Arts Collective. It tells our story, but it didn't end there. We are continuing to move forward. We have a long way to go and a long road, but I see that collaborations have been made, voices are being heard, and more opportunities will open up if we just continue to fight. So with all of this that's representing the Black and brown community, I just have to say thank you. Thank you to everybody that has stayed persistent and humble and continuing the fight. So, and it really is a testament to those that work, live, and pay taxes here in the city. This is our community, and we will continue to stand for it. So there's only one thing that I wanted to mention that for, and I think somebody else will be talking about it, but there is the theme for this year's Black History Month is Black Health and Wellness. And there's a bunch of stuff. We're not talking about just Western medicine. We're talking about midwives and doulas and therapy and everything. But the one thing that I had to just bring up this morning is mental health. It is so important. We have seen over the past 2 years and beyond, but most especially over the past year and even last week, that suicide and pain and illness and grief can truly take over the mind, the body, and the soul. So if I could say one thing, I want to say, please check on your friends and your neighbors. Utilize the resources that are available to you. If you know where somebody works that might have an advantage to get you to a place of help, please take advantage of it. It doesn't help that somebody might not have to walk you through it or be there for your every step of the way, but to give you some resources and tools, anything that will help get it. It's so important. And mental health and mental illness has truly been a stigma in the Black community. I remember growing up, oh, they're crazy. Well, you know, we're not crazy. No one is crazy, but sometimes you just need a little help. So, and peace of mind is such a beautiful thing. So, with COVID and mental illness hovering over us and people suffering, I just wanted to use that one part of the theme for health and wellness this morning to say, if you need help, don't be afraid. Don't look at the stigma. Seek what you need for your own being. And with that, I will go to the agenda. I want to just ask my brother Robert Mitchell to come up, and he will get started.
I appreciate everyone coming out today and joining us. Everyone I reached out to gave me the immediate yes. Everyone's happy to be here. There's a lot of beautiful faces out here. I appreciate it. It's cold, so thank you for showing up. We have a quick agenda. I have invited Corey Robinson, City Council, to come up and speak. I've invited Jacqueline Coles, who's the head of the Lowell Black Coalition, to come up and speak. I've invited Stacy Thompson, who is on the school committee, as we all know, so she's gonna come up and share some words. And I have invited Bobby T to the mic. He is an advocate, he is a servant for the city. So, you know, hearing his words is gonna be important. I'm also gonna open the floor up to Zoe Zuniku, to the rest of the floor. Anybody here, any local officials who wanna share some words. And also, we're going to get a message from the mayor, which is going to be great. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys showing up, and we'll jump right in. And Pastor Wheeler. Pastor Wheeler is up from Greater Deliverance Church. He's going to open us up in prayer.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's so good to see people. Can I say that? We got to get there. Well, there you go. It's good to see people. How many folks are tired of Zoom meetings? And I'm thankful that we're here, and I see all the masks, and y'all are not social distancing. But I hope that everybody that is among us has had their vaccination. And not only have they had their vaccination, they had the opportunity to get a booster. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, here we stand, elbow to elbow, with our brothers and our sisters. As we stand here, we celebrate Black History Month, the month in which we set aside to look at all of the accomplishments of Black Americans within our country. Father, as we go further, we ask that you stand by us and that you create an openness, a heart to receive one another as one, because we are better together. In Jesus' name I pray. Thank God. Amen.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Rob, for organizing this event, and your kids and my sister's kids to play basketball together at Lowell High School. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dreams come true when all our kids grow up together, play together, dream together. I would like to invite all the city councilors to come up here, please. Councilor Mosia, right. John, Councilor Nguyen. I also want to acknowledge and welcome former city councilor candidates Justin Ford, Ryan Rourke, and I believe Bobby Tubielli. He's going to speak later on also. And I also like to welcome State Representative Vanna Howard, and also Zoe Zuniku from Ed Kennedy's office to come up here, please. And I'm sorry? Councilor Leahy, you're the councilors, come up here. You want to come by name? Special invitation. Come on, former Mayor John Leahy, please come up, and Ms. Sarah Kun from Congresswoman Lloyd Trahan, please come on up as here as well. So I think he's trying to block the cold air from getting in. And also want to welcome Superintendent Joel Boyd for being here from public schools. Did I miss anybody? School committee member Dominic Lay, please come on up. You're an elected official, come on up. Thank you. It's always sunny and warm inside City Hall. We don't have to worry about the weather. In addition to the proclamation, I would like to say something to this morning as well. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for attending today. We welcome all our Lowell residents, families, and all friends who gather here to join us today in this important symbolism. Today, we are celebrating the raising of the African-American flag. The flag was created in 1920 by Marcus Garvey. It was initiated to offset and respond to racist and derogatory songs and slang used at the time. The Afro-American flag is also known as the Pan-African flag. It has 3 equal horizontal bands of red, black, and green. These colors represent red, the blood that unites all people of Black African ancestry and shed for liberation. Black people whose existence as a nation, though not as a nation state, is affirmed by the existence of the flag and their collective power. Green, the abundant natural wealth of Africa. Black History Month actually first began as Black History Week. The idea of establishing a calendar week was created by Dr. Carter G. Woodson in 1926. Dr. Woodson chose the second week of February because it coincided with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass, founder of the first Black newspaper, birthday February 14, and Abraham Lincoln, our 16th President of the United States, and author of the Emancipation Proclamation, birthday February 12. Through these actions, February is the month that has come to signify and recognize the important accomplishments of African Americans in the United States. African Americans have made progress towards equality in America, but we must never stop striving for more, where true equality is not just words, but actions in our communities and government in Washington, Boston, and Lowell. African Americans have helped shape America with art, education, music, dance, science, and all fields, and have had a profound impact on our country today. During the U.S. history of slavery and segregation, African Americans and their accomplishments had been left out of history books, and only now are we all working together to recognize and record their forgotten and silenced accomplishments. Today, we gather as a true inclusive community here in Lowell. We gather to strike down racial hatred, prejudice, and to remove unjust barriers for all our residents to live a peaceful life, raise their families, and to share the American dream. Perhaps one of the strongest and bravest African Americans who dared to dream was Dr. Martin Luther King. His dreams were ahead of his time, and his courage unmatched for his nonviolent advocacy for every person's right to advance in our society. In closing, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. famously reminded us that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And in improvisation, the arch of justice bends towards Lowell City Hall. Change is the responsibility of each of us, and together we can move forward for social justice and equality in our community and our nation. I also have a proclamation to present to Terry and Rob for the work for so many decades to bring this event to the city and to City Hall. Before I do so, I would like to invite all my elected council members. If they would like to say anything, please come up. I know you all are behind me, so maybe we can start with Councilor Nguyen. Come this way if you would like to say anything.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, the organizers, for this event tonight. Today, actually this morning, a huge crowd. Hope that next year we have a bigger crowd. May also invite our younger ones so that they know what happened here today and in the future. Thank you.
Representative Howard, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good to be with you all this morning. Action speaks louder than words, so we need to heed the calling of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You have to do the day of service. Behind the scene, in front of the scene, not for a photo op moment, but we need to carry on his message. We need to speak up for any injustice against our brothers and sisters, our black brothers and sisters. We need to rise up and speak up when it's safe to do so. So action speaks louder than words. So let's carry on that message. Thank you.
say I'm honored to be here with all of you today. It's a beautiful sight to see all of you here, and ditto to what's been said. Thank you.
First off, to me, this is just the beginning. I'm proof what happens when we raise our voice and work together. These changes that have occurred in the past year absolutely would not have been possible without the support of the community. Regardless, black, white, Spanish, Asian, green, red, yellow. If something's wrong in one community, it's wrong in all communities. And the only way to correct that is by working together, having genuine, honest conversations, listening to one another, appreciating, respecting, and acknowledging the issues exist when someone tells you the issue exists. This is the first time ever we've had a black woman that, pardon my French, has been working her ass off on the school committee. Well deserved. I myself am looking forward to continue working for all our residents of the city. And again, this isn't just a celebration of Black history nationally. We're starting to create our own Black history locally. Look around the room. We have some great community partners in the house tonight, or today, I should say. Mayor Sakari Chow, first Southeast Asian elected mayor nationwide, period. With the change to district format with the city council, look around at the great people behind me. We brought together a mixed skill set that it wasn't a popularity contest. It was, this is who the people and the residents of the city decided had what they needed to move the city in the right direction so far. We established a pipeline. We have some great candidates that I'm sure aren't going away anytime soon. And I think Lowell is on the verge of an explosion. I think change is definitely coming. We have great change coming to the school side. We have great change here in the city side. I think our residents had enough. And I think, again, this is Black history. This is Lowell's history in the making. And I think we all need to take a step back and really appreciate it, respect that. And with health and wellness being the theme of this month, or with this month for this year, part of that is healthy conversations and being well enough to understand when change is needed and to take action to make that difference. And thank everybody for coming out today, and we hope to see you at Mill City Barbecue beginning at 12. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for attending this special occasion. It is my honor to be part of this. Racism is the disease that we're all struggling. I remember when we first came from Cambodia, we were not well accepted, but the same example of Dr. Martin Luther King teaches, the struggle, the silence, so we did that. And I'm so honored that this past Sunday, January 30th, the Boston Globe magazine did a story features, and if you have not seen it, I encourage you to read about it, and you can see the struggle that we came to America and experienced. So I appreciate the opportunity. As Corey said, this is just the beginning. And thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you very much for being here on this important day. Let me just say that you could have stayed in the comfort of your warm home. You didn't have to come out today in the freezing cold. but you felt that this event was worth you being here, and we're very grateful that you did that. But how did we get here? How did we get here? Let me tell you, and I can from experience, because if you look around the room, I'm like one of the oldest people in here, so I go back a long ways to know how this began. This began with a man named Robert Mitchell. Robert Mitchell was outstanding. He was my neighbor. They lived on Howard Street. I lived on the next street. His daughters, Terry being one of them, showed my daughters how to do cheerleading. They were magnificent. It was a great family. From them came the Choates. I could go on and on. But how did that happen? There was no Black History Month in the city until Robert Mitchell started it. And I often thought he was a preacher. I thought he was a pastor. He wasn't even a pastor, but the way he spoke, you wanted to go to church. And when he spoke, he was amazing. And he made us feel like we were a part of Black history. And then he passed away, and it could have been left in disarray and forgotten, but no, his wife Mary took it over. And after Mary took it over, she was tremendous, just like her husband. And then, again, she got older and had a hard time to take part in all that it entails. This isn't an easy event. You gotta prepare it and put it all together, but it brings light to the fact that there are Black history in the making here in this city. So who comes along but Cindy and Terry, and took over and made this happen today. Thank you to the Mitchell family, Robert, everyone for making this happen and make us aware. I'm very, very grateful because, yes, thank you. But because you're here today, please don't ever think that, oh, there's 11 people upstairs, they run the city, blah, blah, blah. You know what? You run this city. You tell us what you want us to do. This is not our building. This is everybody's building, and I want you to know that. When we have fabric and we weave it all together, it becomes one. Just like that, well, it used to be up there, but they took it down. That's what it's all about. Every nationality, every color, every religion, it's put together in the fabric. You are part of that fabric that's put together in the city of Lowell. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a great time.
Thank you. I'll actually be a little brief. I just had dental surgery, so I wasn't planning on speaking right now, but it's a pleasure to be here to celebrate the start of Black History Month and also the raising of the Pan-African flag. It's an honor for me to serve you. As they've mentioned, we all work for you. It's wonderful to see a community come together to celebrate the struggles, to really honor the struggles of the African-American people. And it's also very important for us to make sure that we acknowledge a real and accurate history of what's happened in this country. So again, it's my pleasure to serve you, and I thank you all.
Thank you all for coming. Common good. That's what we're all here for, the common good. And I think that as long as you have your voice will be heard for the common good. And when you look around here and you look at the 11 people standing behind me, and John's holding the doors, he's good at holding doors. Thank you, Councilor Leahy. We watched Stacey Thompson get elected. We watched my good friend Corey Robinson get elected. And the first time I heard Stacey Thompson speak, she said about amplifying your voice, and your voice was yours. And when you think of Stacey and you think of Corey, I promise you, your voice is now not only yours, but it's going to be heard from all of us. And I see the school systems behind us, so I would thank all of you for coming out. And just remember one thing, don't lose your voice. We are listening, and we will state it for you. And thank you, and have a nice day.
First, thank you so much to the organizers for putting this together. This is a great event. I love seeing the community come together for events like this, and it's great to be able to see people's faces again, not in Zoom boxes, as was mentioned earlier, so that's really nice. I also want to echo some of what Corey said earlier about this being the beginning of something and this being the start of something. Throughout my campaign, I talked about how this change to district and at-large representation is going to bring in new voices. We've seen that that's happened. And now it's on the elected officials in the community to continue pushing that forward. Keep bringing in new ideas, new faces, new thoughts. And we all want to hear your thoughts and your voices. We're all here for you to make the best version of Lowell we can, to be more inclusive, to be more just. It's very important that we as a city council, we as a community keep that in mind as we move forward through this process. So thank you all and have a wonderful day.
Good afternoon. Just to take a minute and kind of reflect on what Councilor Robinson spoke of earlier. I guess for me, it's more of a thank you type of event. You know, I've had conversations with Corey. You know, me personally, I'm always trying to learn, trying to hear everybody's voice. And sometimes, and I'm sure Dr. Boyd will agree with this, I think I know it all. And I don't. So when I have conversations with Corey or with Mr. Robinson or back in high school with Anthony Pooh Richardson, and I heard Stacy speak last Wednesday. I talked to Councilor Noon and Paul, and obviously my relationship with the mayor. They're all learning processes for me. I'm thankful for the opportunity to know great people like this. I'm thankful to be here today. And I would think, honestly, somebody in my position needs to keep listening, needs to keep learning, and needs to keep going to events and being an open book to how change is possible. We saw that change in a great way this past November. With Corey coming on the city council and Stacy coming on the school committee, they are not soft voices. They are people that demand to be heard. And so far, so good. You have done that. So once again, it's a pleasure for me to be here. I'm very thankful to be here, and I hope to be here with you for a long time. Have a great day.
Door's all set now. There's not much to say after what everybody said. Dan, that was beautiful. But again, this is your community. We love you. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for staying involved. And thank you for keeping all of us on our toes. But again, as Dan said, it's your community. We're just here to serve. As all the councilors said, we're here for you. So thank you very much.
I have to take this off because if you wear glasses and you try to read, you know the problem, you know the struggle. All right, so first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here today. As you know, and Corey spoke about, this is historic. And so we have to just take that moment in. One of the things that I did before the election, the day of the election, is I sat on my stairs and just sat. And I don't think that we do that enough. We don't pause and just take a moment in. And I want to make sure to do that, and that's something that I'm going to ask all of you to do. Take this moment in, because this is a moment that we've been waiting for so long, and it is, again, the beginning. So I'm going to just read something quickly that I wrote, because this is how I do. So it says, in Lowell, in 1979, a woman by the name of Bertie Bell Jones Malbury endeavored to enter a place, into an arena where she was repeatedly told and shown she could not hold space. Imagine holding civilization's throne, but being held from council chambers. Well, Bertie, we've come this far by faith. I'm here to demonstrate to be a very real example that from the lightest hue to the deepest and most rich melanin, we are worthy. We are beautifully divine, and we deserve to occupy space. Whether your ancestry demonstrates being ripped from the womb of Mother Africa, occupying lands of the Caribbean, South America, or, as happens all too often, it's been lost altogether, we are here. In Lowell, much like every other place in this country, we witnessed an erasure from history, and sometimes a door closed in the present. But we are here, no longer hidden in plain sight. We are here leading organizations, present on boards of directors, caring for those in need, and needing care from those who lead. My brothers and sisters, the last few years have been heavy, painful, traumatic, and challenging. But I offer you a challenge. Cry when you have to. Let's learn to take a break when it's needed. Don't feel that you have to do everything alone. Find your new tribe, your new squad, your people, your folks. Care for your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. Be your brothers and sisters' keeper. The song popular in the civil rights movement said, "We shall overcome someday." Well, I want to walk together jointly into that someday today. Where we are, as Auntie Maxie said, reclaiming our time, and as the beautiful John Lewis said, getting into some good trouble. So I say to you, happy Black History Day, week, month, year, and lifetime. Thank you, and God bless.
Well, this is good trouble, amen? I think Rob and Terry didn't know that once you hand over the microphone to elected officials, you're not going to get it back. So I know you have other speakers on the program. We also have citation and proclamation to be presented from Congresswoman Trahan's office also. Before we do that, we are blessed by a surprise visit by my friend, mentor, and role model, the fabulous. Please come up here if you don't mind. To say a few words. Ms. Laura Smith, would you like to say a few words?
Just a few.
Okay.
Well, excuse the glasses, but I didn't have my others. But, you know the face. I greet you. And as we know, when we talk about our people, I greet you in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I am just so grateful. Forgive me if I get full. But this is a magic moment. And all of you, you don't know the magic yet, but you shall come to know. I'll be brief as I say this to you. Lowell, Massachusetts, me coming from New Orleans, Louisiana, born in segregation, having the opportunity to watch my parents and other family members and community members work to make a difference, watching leaders come forth like a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., like a Reverend Ralph Abernathy, so many, many other names that we could call, like a Shirley Chisholm, who was a presidential candidate, let's not forget. Watching all that, and then having an opportunity in the third section of my life to step out of segregation and see that come about. Yes, as we always say, there's much more that needs to be done. And we, all of us in this room, regardless to our color, must be a part of that change. And so I'm just so grateful to see so many of you young people. Let me see now, I'm probably about the oldest one in the room, so you can't talk back to me, right? I encourage you, all that's going on here today, oh, this is nice, and we can applaud, but take it home and teach your children. Make sure that your children not just know about Black History Month, but know about all of the various wonderful cultures that are here in this city. And let nobody come and tell you what a bad city this is, because it is not. If I had to do it all over again, just about 50 years ago, I would come to the city of Lowell. And I say it all the time. When it comes to differences in people, etc., Lowell may not have it all figured out, but Lowell is further down the road than a lot of other places. And so I encourage you, teach all of this, speak all of this at your home, to your children. Talk about your ethnicity and your culture, and talk about some other cultures. Make sure that your children are prepared by you for the world that they're going to live in. Because certainly I'm living in a world that's different than the one I lived in. My grandchildren, my children do, and yours will too. So I thank you so much. I thank you for giving me an opportunity to share. And please, keep up what you're doing. And if anybody comes to you and remarks about what you're doing in a negative way to make a difference, just turn and ask, oh, well, now tell me about your programs. What are you involved in? When somebody comes to you and say, well, you know, they did that, but they really should be doing this, that, and the other. And then you say, you know what? Not only am I going to help them to do that, I'm going to help you. What are you doing? So always make certain when any of us get ready to open our mouths and talk about what some other individual organization is doing to make a difference, ask yourself, what am I doing? And if you're not doing anything, lastly, I want to say congratulations to this wonderful slate of school committee individuals and city council individuals that are here as well. Congratulations to you.
Bobby Tubiali.
Why am I going at the Lura? Okay. Good morning. My name is Bobby Tubiale. I want to thank Robert Mitchell for the opportunity to speak today and for ensuring that this local tradition lives on. In our culture, it's important to honor the works and sacrifices of those who came before. And so I want to take this moment to thank all of the Black people who paved the way for me and others to be here today. The names of these ancestors are innumerable, but their spirit lives on, and we must individually or collectively ensure that their legacy is respected. I stand here this morning in the presence of beauty of Black people. In the presence of beauty of Black history. A local history that goes back over a century, more, before waves of other groups came to Lowell seeking freedom, peace, and a chance at the proverbial American dream. If you would like to learn about some of this history, I ask that you all invest in a copy or two or three of Hidden in Plain Sight, published by Free Soil Arts Collective. Some of this history is also available for viewing in person at the Lowell National Historical Park, only through this fall. But as much as it is important to look back, I want to challenge Black people in Lowell, including myself, to look forward, to dream bigger, to expect more from local government, but to also expect more from ourselves. Today, I stand in the same place as history makers. Councilor Corey Robinson. School Committee Woman Stacey Thompson. I want to thank you both for putting yourself out there and inspiring so many who thought that your wins could not be possible. Birdie would be proud today. The slogan of my citywide campaign was "A Bridge Forward." And while campaigning, I observed a severe lack of young black boys and girls who I could recruit to be engaged civically. I came to learn that many of our young black brothers and sisters could not see a future for them in Lowell. What does this mean? From my perspective, it means fewer black-owned businesses, fewer black teachers, fewer black business owners, fewer black candidates for local, state, and national office, fewer black homeowners, fewer black investors. All of these things matter, and as much as we honor the past, I challenge each and every one of us who considers ourselves part of this black community to look forward, to dream bigger, to expect more of this city, and more importantly, expect more of ourselves. As I lift up the black community right now, this is not meant to reduce anyone else. Regardless whether you are black and born in America, or first-generation American from Nigeria like myself, or from the Caribbean, or your black family is blended with many other cultures and ethnicities, we are still one people. We have shared history and shared hopes and dreams. And I ask that each and every one of us work to lift one another up in the pursuit of these dreams. As Berry Gordy once said, make your success work to help others achieve their measures of success, and hope they, in turn, will do likewise. This is the kind of chain reaction that is music to my ears. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Coles. I don't mind coming after everyone that has already spoken because I stand on the shoulders of those that have spoken, and they have said so much. We always stand on each other's shoulders. I'm sorry, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I feel like I am going to cry. Wow, this is emotional. I did not expect that. Okay, so I'm Jacqueline Coles, and I am representing the Black Lowell Coalition. Thank you. I am an information sharer. If you don't know me, that's what I do. You give me your information, I will try to get it out to as many audiences as is possible because I believe that knowledge is power. So with the Black Lowell Coalition, what we're trying to do is create a virtual platform where if you come to the city of Lowell, anything and everything that has to do with black people, its affiliates, et cetera, you will be able to go to this website and learn about that information, those places, et cetera. It is a work in progress, but please do visit our site. I would like to thank anyone in this room that donated to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service virtual book drive. We sincerely appreciate you. It was a success, and those books will be going out to those in the community soon. I would also like to mention to you all, so this is my plug, this is my information sharing. If you don't know Masterclass, I highly recommend that you either subscribe to it or please go on the website and join our events that we're having almost every Friday because it so eloquently puts into perspective the the trauma, the turmoil, the grace, the strides, everything that we have done in the Black community. It talks about local government. It talks about the Constitution and the Redeemer Constitution. It talks about the Reconstruction Amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which we are still struggling for to get the proper rights that we were supposed to get back in the 1800s. Someone also said that it wasn't even until the last 50 years, pretty much, that we've somewhat had a true sense of semblance since civil rights just came along, but we still don't have our civil rights. The Floyd bill can't even still get passed. So there are so many struggles that we still have today that we all need to work on, because only Black people voting doesn't get something voted. Only white people voting doesn't get something voted in. Only Asian people voting doesn't get something voted in. It's all of us. So while we have Black History Month, information sharing again, the 13th of February is an alternative to Valentine's Day. It is called Black Love Day. I know you've heard of Kwanzaa. That hasn't been around that long either, but so Black Love Day is here as well. It is a day where you celebrate who we are as a people, as a family, as a community, etc. So if you have the opportunity in your communities, wherever you're at, celebrate Black Love Day, because it is a specific day to celebrate who we are and what we do. And they did mention Black health and wellness as being part of our theme. It is, I always get this wrong, Association for the Study of African American Life and History. Visit that website. Carter G. Woodson created that website, well, not the website, of course, but the organization and the information that is associated with that. And if you want to know a lot about us, go there and learn why we have this month, why we had this week, why it relates to you. I would last like to say, because a lot of people have said a lot of things that I can go on forever, on the 23rd, in relation to Black health and wellness, we are going to have a birth doula, and we are going to have a death doula speaker virtually, so you can be in the comforts of your home. I know a lot of us have heard of doulas that are for birthing and helping the mother produce life, but there are also those of us who are transitioning, especially during COVID, and all as a family unit, cousins, mothers, brothers, need help on that transition out and afterwards. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with death doulas, but given COVID, I think it's pretty relevant. We as Black people, no slight to anyone else, we as Black people have led the charge and we have led the way, and there is a pattern of the world following our lead. So I want us to continue to lead the charge in the city of Lowell, where I am a resident, where this is my home, where I intend to bring up my children, so that everyone else has the grace and ability to follow the lead of me, my family, and my people. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zoe Zuniku. I haven't had any prepared remarks, but I was asked to speak, and I wanted to take the opportunity to as well. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for just, lending your hearts and your minds. As I was sitting listening to all of the speakers, they basically touched on everything and anything that we could. There's only two things that came to my mind as I was thinking, and I just wanted for us to just take a step back and be quiet for about 30 seconds and think of the word trauma. When you hear Black history, it's synonymous. When you think about anything that has to do with people of color, it's synonymous. This gathering that the Mitchell family has put forth year after year, that's inclusive, is born out of trauma. So since we are here in 2022, still fighting for our rights, still talking about being equal or equity, still thinking about diversity, and still saying the same things that our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents talked about, fought for, and hoped for. At this point, I'm hoping that this is the real change that we've been hoping for. The other thing I was thinking about is hope. We have some of the most brightest Black men and women in Lowell. And yet, we don't know who they are sometimes. The fact that we now can have role models in a Bobby Tubielli, and a Stacey Thompson, and my bestie, Corey Robinson, and of course, Miss Latifah Phillips. I think is a step forward for Lowell. And the fact that we have our first Asian American mayor in the entire country is a step forward for Lowell. And she is service personified. And our state representative, Vanna Howard, is a step forward. And working for Senator Kennedy, he wishes he could be here, is a step forward. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming again. Let Black History Month lift us all up, but it's not just one month. Let us do this in our daily lives every single day. Appreciate and love each other.
I was wondering in the beginning why I stood up here and then Terry and Rob took a few steps backward. Now that I have listened to all the speakers, now I know why. You're the smart thing, and I love listening to all these speeches, and if anyone else would like to speak, let's keep it going. Does anybody want to speak? Justin, anybody else want to come to speak? Keep it going.
Hello, everybody. My name is Justin Ford. This year, Corey and Stacy have really done the work and put in the groundwork and listened to the community. And this is what we need more people of color getting their voice out there and also helping amplify voices of others. We all need to, in this room, grab our friends and family and get them in the process. Teach them an understanding of how the voting system works. Because we all have a choice in how our country works, how our city works, and that's how we do it together. So I'm really happy today to see all these people. A lot of you guys work day in, day out to make sure everybody's voice is heard, and that's what I love about this city. Thank you.
Anyone else?
How we doing today? My name is John Smith. I'm a local business owner here in town. We own Flip Flop and Small Steps Daycare. I just wanted to say something. I mean, I've been living in Boston. I come from Lowell. I lived there in high school, left, and then I worked in Boston 25 years running, kitchens and all that. And then I just got tired, and I had a little mental health problem. And one day my wife said, you know what you gotta do, John? You gotta do more of what you love. And I said, wow. I said, I can't stand managing people no more, though. So she said, hey, what could we do? I said, I don't know. One day I'm thinking, my doctor said, dude, go up in your attic, chill, and do some stuff. And I started creating, started thinking about my boy Arthur, started thinking about Corey. I said, what impact can I do in Lowell? Because I always said to myself, there ain't no black men that move like I do in Lowell. There ain't no black men that do the crazy stuff I do in Lowell. the nails and the this and the that. So I said, yo, I got to go out there making an impact on a young black man and tell him we could do whatever we want to do, wherever, anywhere, however. So that was my thing, was the mental health and making an impact on the black youth. I don't care who your youth are, but I want to make sure the black men, especially because I have black men in my house, black women, I want them to be raised with a certain level. We ain't bums. We don't walk around with the pants. We got businesses. We got brands. We got all that. We're going to show them what you got because we here. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. So the thing about that is I got a store, Flip Flop Ventures, because if anybody know me from Boston, my nickname's Flip, because I do the flipping, you do the flopping. So I flip it, and what I do is I have a little mental health wall. I have all that. You can go out there, put your things up there. I have stuff for people. We give milk. We give boys sneakers. We do anything and all things, and nobody even know me. We don't reach out. We don't care, but we put it out there. We do what we can for the youth. We do it for the people. If you need a bed, we're going to get you to sleep. You need a blanket, we're going to warm you up. You need a hot cocoa, we're going to get that too real quick. We're going to do it. But that's what we need to do. If you got something, make sure you're out there using it. If you can impact, make sure impact. If you can wake up in the morning, praise God that you're here, and keep it moving. You know what I mean? But I do know Lowell gave me an opportunity when I was young. Black history things, all this and that. So I said, I'm going to come back to Lowell. I don't care. I told Corey, he said, you can't do this, you can't do that, and I probably can't. But I'm going to go as far, because they told me before, they said, you're a crackhead. You're never going to do that. You're an ex-convict. You're never going to do that. You ain't nothing. I ran a $6.9 million business, 181 employees, and they said I couldn't do that. Then they said I can't open a business with no money, no nothing, no collateral. I got one downtown. We making money. We spending rent. We got customers, clients. We got all that. And they said I couldn't do it, and I quit a job that was 6 figures. Did I do it? So, black men, we can do it. We don't have to work for everybody. We don't have to be, yo, go get your own stuff. And if you're gonna do it though, and this is what I encourage all you people and all the people, if you gonna do it, do it. Be an example. If you see trash, pick it up. You see somebody there, pick it up. You see something, do it. Start doing it. Action is stronger than words. You know what I mean? Like, I got people here. I told my boy Arthur, I love him to death. I said, we gonna make it. We gonna go out there, we gonna do it. I'm gonna put something for you. Where he at? Right there, we in the store, we making money, and we gonna pay rent. So that's what we doing. All right, so I encourage everybody, black, white, or whatever, you gotta stick in, you gotta, love people, caress people, get them to love each other, and if they don't, send them down to Flip Flop. I'll change your life, baby.
I'm not quite sure if anybody want to go after that. And I'm trying to read people's eyes, but probably better if you raise your hand if you want to speak. If I don't see anyone else, it's my honor to introduce now Ms. Sarah Kun. She's representing the office of Congresswoman Roy Trahan, and she would like to present a citation to Rob and Terry as well. Please come on up.
Oh my goodness, you guys, this is one amazing day. Yes. I am here representing Congresswoman Lori Trahan. She sends her well wishes to everyone, and she just want to make sure that we present you with this citation. From the United States House of Representatives, Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition, presented to Afro-American Community Council. Upon leading the City of Lowell's effort to introduce the start of Black History Month, the rich Afro-American culture and your tremendous contributions have been integral to strengthening and diversifying our community. Your commitment to promoting and preserving Afro-American heritage will forever have a lasting impact on the city and beyond. Signed, Lori Trahan, Member of Congress, February 5th, 2022. Thank you.
It is also to present the It's also my honor to present the mayor's proclamation to the organization, the Afro-American, the Terry, Rob, the Mitchell's family. And I just want to say, this is one of the few events that the entire council body are present. So this is a very special event. The entire councilors for being here. City of Lowell, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, by myself, Mayor, a proclamation. Whereas for too long, our most basic liberties had been denied to African Americans, and today we pay tribute to countless good-hearted citizens along the Underground Railroad, a border bus in Alabama, and all across our country who stood up and sat in to help right the wrongs of our past and extend the promise of America to all people. Whereas the African Americans have remained devoted to the proposition that all of us are created equal, even when their own rights were denied. As we rejoice in the victories won by men and women who believed in the idea of a just and fair America, we remember that throughout history, our success has been driven by bold individuals who were willing to speak out and change the status quo. Whereas, not only during the months of February, but every day, we recognize these champions of justice and the sacrifices they made to bring us to this point. We honor the contributions of African Americans since our country's beginning, and we recommit to reaching for a day when no person is judged by anything but the content of their character. Now, therefore, I, along with the entire city councilors, member, I, Mayor of the City of Lowell, Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim February 2022 as Black Heritage Month in the City of Lowell, Massachusetts, and urge all citizens to take part in the celebration, given this 5th day of February 2022, signed by myself and the entire council members. Thank you. Now the microphone is yours back.
I thank everyone for coming out today and speaking. And as I look around, there's one person who I need to invite up here because without his father, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. So David Choate. His father was the real pioneer in the process. When my father came to Lowell, he learned from his father, and we keep this together. And the whole point of this is collaboration. So it's on us to make sure we move this thing forward and build on a foundation that our parents have set for us. So we will continue to do that, but I wanted to make sure that David was acknowledged as part of this process.
I'm just going to make this short and hopefully sweet. I thank. That's what it is. I'll just say this, and I've said it a couple of times to a couple of people. Before, when black people first came to Lowell, what it is, we lived in the projects, everybody needed each other. You borrowed a pack of chicken, a piece of ham, some salt pork, or whatever you did. You watched out for each other's kids, you know what I mean? We watched out for each other's kids and made sure we made it, you know what I mean? We looked out for each other. Everybody gets a little bit of money, the kids are going to college, and I'm only worried about my kids, you know what I mean? But what about our neighbors' kids? What about
us working together and our kids working together. We're separated as you know, but we've grown financially, but we've separated mentally and spiritually. The churches, they're not supported like we usually do, and that is our foundation, and the people in that. But I thank Terry and your family to keep it going, and you have your other generation growing up and going. And the Mitchell family, I give praises to you. My family done left this area, but I'm here, and that's all that matters. And I thank you guys. Come on, let's work together.
Right before we are preparing to go outside and raise the flag. So time to raise the flag, and we don't have our singer, but if anybody wants to volunteer, so we will just play the anthem on the speaker. Thank you all so much. This was one of the best flag raisings with all of the support. I'm full, so I can't talk, so we'll see you outside. Thank you all.